Hey everyone, welcome back to the Kansas Collective for your weekly dose of wacky. I'm JJ, and I'm here with my sister Elle as always. And on today's particular episode, we are returning to Kansas cooking to create another fabulous concoction. Today's particular dish is called hot mayo pie. And for more on hot mayo pie, here's my sister.
So you may be wondering, how did hot mayo pie come to fruition? Well, every Christmas, our family features a different cuisine for our Christmas dinner, or a different theme for the Christmas dinner. So this particular year, we were doing brunch foods and breakfast foods. And our Aunt Dorothy, who is notorious around here in the Kansas kitchen, is a big fan of magazine subscriptions. If it has recipes, she's gonna order it. And so this particular year, she had come across a quiche recipe that had vegetables. It was a vegetable quiche that she was really excited to make. But once she got into the process of baking this particular dish, things took a hard left turn, and we ended up with hot mayo pie because the quiche required a certain amount of eggs, and when she decided to make the recipes 5 minutes before we were supposed to eat, she realized she was short on eggs and short on quite a few of the ingredients that were necessary to make the recipe. But since Kansas kitchen is all about substitutions,
She pulled an audible.
She persevered. So her thinking was, she didn't have eggs, no problem. She has ample amounts of mayonnaise, a Kansas kitchen staple. Can't cook without the mayonnaise. So thinking that the mayonnaise has eggs in it, she could replace all the eggs in this quiche with mayonnaise. So she had one egg to bind it together, and she also, I think she had a wider variety of stir-fry veggies that she put into the quiche, but we're just gonna stick with broccoli. You can throw in whatever veggies you have, leftovers, you go. That's the Kansas way. So we ended up with hot mayo pie, which was quite the surprise when you're expecting a quiche. It was nice and gushy and mushy
And mayo-y.
and turns out hot mayo pie is an actual southern dish, but I do not think that it follows these guidelines.
This is not an accurate representation of authentic hot
No.
mayo pie.
No.
This is the substituted quiche version of hot mayo pie. So for more on how to make it, my sister will start us off on our instructions.
Okay, so first thing to get started on your very own hot mayo pie, you need a pie crust. We're using store-bought, because we're not about that homemade crust life. So you're gonna want to par bake or fully cook almost your pie crust for about 10 to 12 minutes at 450 degrees. So while your pie crust is baking, you can make your filling. And so what you're gonna wanna do is take about 1.5 cups of mayonnaise, however full you want your quiche to be, about 1.5 cups of mayonnaise, and mix that with 1 egg to make your filling. And then you're going to want to either cut, or I'm just gonna tear up your vegetables into the filling, give it a good stir, and then let your filling wait until you have your pie crust.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna then want to slice your tomatoes into rounds so that you have enough to cover the whole casserole dish. If you're using a full casserole dish, you may need more tomatoes than if you're using
a pie
smaller
dish.
Yeah, or a pie. You can use a pie dish. I think that's what she used originally. And then once you have your partially cooked pie crust, you're gonna put your filling in and then top it with your tomatoes and then top the whole thing with some of your Parmesan cheese. You can also use any other cheese that you feel really
adds to the dish.
Yeah, adds to the dish. And then you're gonna want to bake the whole thing for about 10 to 15 minutes.
Till the top gets golden brown.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, while that's baking, we can now engage in a little story time, a brief chat about when we had to eat the hot mayo pie, when we thought we were going to get this nice quiche Lorraine. Well, first, when we get there, Aunt Dorothy starts by telling us that she made some slight changes to the quiche Lorraine, and no, we should have been aware of what the reality of the situation was going to be, and that most everything had been changed entirely. We were like, oh, okay, maybe there's no broccoli. You never know, a few changes. And when she pulls out the hot mayo pie, and you're expecting this, again, quiche, and you get what is essentially slop on pie crust. It's a bit of a strange situation. It's a bit perplexing. Tad surprising, as most of our cooking is. Well, her cooking especially is. And as the night progressed and as people started consuming the other food for brunch that was out to be served,
the much safer option.
Nobody happened to be digging into the hot mayo pie quiche.
To the surprise
creation.
of no one. So she then decided that we were all obligated to try a very
Hearty
serving of her new creation. She was very proud of this new creation, regardless of her own twist that she put on it. And so we were all required to eat this pie. And you would think, oh, well, you could get a piece and then just make it disappear on a napkin. No, she watched us all eat it.
She forced you to eat every bite in front of her.
And just the texture, it was like...
Again, you go in thinking you're getting a quiche. You end up with hot mayo pie crust pie.
The crust was, of course, overdone.
Well, of course, that goes without saying.
The mayo was warm, and the tomatoes were warm. Which the tomatoes should
and
have
that's
been
a
warm that way.
strange textural combination: slimy hot tomato, goopy hot mayonnaise.
Yes, one you'll never
raw
forget.
broccoli that's just been warmed. Bizarre.
Yes.
But
we weren't her only victims.
No.
Our cousin Jack was also forced to eat hot mayo pie, and Jack is not, I wouldn't say picky, but Jack knows
he has
what
his
he likes.
proclivities.
And he was Aunt Dorothy was so adamant.
Aggressive.
Yep. That we all eat this pie that she made poor Jack cry over his hot slice of mayo pie.
And forced him to eat it whilst crying.
He's probably still in therapy for it.
Well.
Hot mayo pie. Chases him in his nightmares.
So, if you want to create a dish and force your relatives to eat it at the holidays, why not hot mayo pie? It'll be a conversation starter.
It really will.
To say the least.
Bring a surprise. Okay, so now we have our delicious hot mayo pie out of the oven. And upon first glance, it kind of looks like a pizza, but do not let it fool you. It is not a pizza. There's no pizza out there like this. And also true to form, we have the crust, you know,
crispy,
a little overbaked, but
seasoned.
Follows the original recipe.
It adds flavor. It's good for you.
That's a nice slice. Gotta get a
tomato. Gotta get a whole tomato.
Oh yeah.
You can't have only part of a tomato in that.
Oh yeah. There you go.
Mm.
Gooey, warm,
Chewy,
nonsensical. Oh yeah.
bizarre.
So, if you're looking for a recipe,
You're looking for a brunch food that no one has ever had before, and no one will ever have after.
Oh yeah.
Hot mayo pie.
Really spice up the holidays.
It'll be a brunch they'll never forget. So, as always, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we hope you all have a wonderful week. Thank you. Bye.